couple years ago, I was in Ohio at a shopping mall. An old white lady, this is true, she was following me around the mall, which sounds paranoid, but I'm sure she was following me. Mean lady, too. You ever see a woman with lines on her face that just tell you, like, even if she smiled, it looked like it would hurt the muscles in her face? I knew she was following me because she was at places that had nothing to do with her. I'd be looking around like, what is this old bitch doing in GameStop and Foot Locker and all the places I like to go? Every time I see her, she'd just be looking at me on me. And eventually I forgot about her. So then after I'm shopping, I go all the way to the back of the parking lot. I'm parked all the way in the back. And as soon as I open my car door, I hear a voice go, David Chappelle. Just like that. I didn't even have to look. I knew it was her. And I looked back and sure enough, there she was, that face. To be honest with you, she probably wasn't even that old. She's probably around my age. But she was a white woman. This bitch looked terrible. I kept my cool. I was nice. I said, hello, miss. And she didn't say anything back. All she said was, I watch your comedy. I said, uh-oh. And then she says, this is true, she goes, it sounds to me like you hate women. I said, well, you know what, miss? It's art. And you're free to interpret this art however you'd like. But I can tell you, as the maker of this art, that I don't believe that I feel that way. And she said, well, I think. And I said, shut up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Before I kill you and put you in the trunk. Ain't nobody around here. I'm just kidding, I didn't say that. I felt that way, but that's not what I said. I was more clever than that. You know what I said? And this is exactly what I said. I said, miss, before you finish that statement, let me ask you a question. Where'd you see me? Did you buy a ticket to a concert I did? I doubt that. Or maybe you watched one of my specials on Netflix. Or did I follow you to your car and do my act? She said, what? I said, keep it in the comment section, bitch, this is real life. Ta-ta! And then I drove off. You can see it. You ever have this happen? This is how confusing it is. This is the practical application of what I'm talking about. Like a guy be out, just having a lot of guys, you be out at a club, bar, right? You're kicking with your boys, and a girl walks by, and man, she looks good. She looks good. Not good in that classical way. I mean, you know, I'm talking good like she got half her ass hanging out her skirt. Her titties are all mashed together, popping out the top of her turtleneck and shit. And you with your buddies, right? You with your buddies, you got a couple drinks in you, and you see a girl like this, you might try to talk to her. This might not come out right. I don't know what you say, but damn, look at them titties! The girl gets mad and says, wait a minute. Just because I'm dressed this way does not make me a whore. Which is true. Gentlemen, that is true. Just because they dress a certain way doesn't mean they are a certain way. Don't ever forget it. But ladies, you must understand that that is fucking confusing. Just is. Now that would be like me, Dave Chappelle the comedian, walking around the streets in a cop uniform. Somebody might run up on me. Oh, thank God. Officer, help us. Come on, they're over here. Help us. I'm like, oh, just because I'm dressed this way does not make me a police officer. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, all right, lady, fine. You are not a whore. But you are wearing a whore's uniform, I'll tell you that shit right now. Another time, about 6 years ago, there was a lesbian woman that They're trying to sell a story about me to TMZ. Thank goodness TMZ could see right through the sham of that story. This woman claimed that I beat her up in a nightclub because she was a lesbian. That is fucking crazy. Bitch, I didn't even know you was a woman. Thank God TMZ didn't believe that. Because I did beat the shit out of her, I'm not gonna lie. It was her fault, I had no choice. I came in the club minding my own business and a woman came up to me, she goes, oh my God, Dave Chappelle. And I was just being reciprocally nice. Hey, miss, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Benign talk, nothing to it. And all of a sudden, this lesbian fellow stepped between us. Hey, nigga, that's my girl. I said, yo, my man, back up like that. She said, I ain't backing up off shit, nigga, that's my girl. I said, bro, you're gonna have to give me 3 feet like this. She said, stop calling me a man, motherfucker. I'm a woman. I said, what? And then I looked deep in this nigga's cheekbones. I said, oh my God, you are a woman. It was just too much for me to even wrap my mind around. But I tell you what, I unballed my fist immediately and I softened my posture so that she would know she's in no danger. I even changed the tone of my voice. I said softly, sweetly, like a pimp might say. Bitch, I'm about to slap the shit out of you. I should have done it. Oh, I wish I didn't say that. She dropped that foot back. Boop, she was in a perfect southpaw stance. Her shoulders were angled correctly. Her head movement was good. I said, oh no! This bitch boxes for real. She threw a wild hook at me and I saw it coming from yesterday, so I slipped it like this. I had no choice. I had to go to work. I let that jab go. You should have seen me go, nigga. I tenderized them titties like chicken cutlets. I whooped the toxic masculinity out of that bitch. I'm sorry, ladies, I got a fucking Me Too headache. Y'all is killing me right now. It's really fucking tough to watch what's going on. You know, ladies, I said it in my last special, and I got in a lot of trouble for this. I told you you were right. But the way you're going about it is not going to work. But I'm biased. I said it. Louis C.K. was a very good friend of mine before he died in that terrible masturbation accident. And it was his room. You read the story. He was masturbating in his own room. That's where you're supposed to masturbate. And then he said, hey, everybody, I'm gonna pull my dick out. Nobody ran for the door or nothing like that. They all just kind of hung out like, I wonder if this guy's serious. And he came on his own stomach. There it is. What is the threat? Have any women ever seen a guy that just came on his own stomach? This is the least threatening motherfucker the earth has ever seen. All you see is shame in their face and cum dripping down like pancake butter. He didn't do anything that you can call the police for. I dare to try. Call the police on him. Hello, police? Yes, I am on the other line with comedian Louis C.K. and I think that he is masturbating while I'm on the phone. You know what the police are gonna say in Atlanta? Well, what are you guys talking about? Caitlyn Jenner, whom I've met, wonderful person. Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit, she's better than all of you. Never even had a period, ain't that something? Oh, I'd be mad as shit if I was a woman. I'd be mad if I was me. If I was in a BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for Nigger of the Year, Eminem, my man.
The only thing in our society that bothers me the most is the way that men and women don't get along no more. That's really what's bugging me about it. Men and women just don't get along. Like I hear women say this all the time. I know a lot of you sisters be like, chivalry is dead. Don't you? Don't y'all feel that way? Like men aren't gentlemen anymore? That's right. Chivalry is dead. And women killed it. There's a fundamental difference in the way we're going to see things. We're not going to see eye to eye on this issue. We're just not. Our tests in life are different. A woman's test in life is material. A man's test in life is a woman. Now, by test, I mean that those are the things that we desire. Men have nice cars. Not because they like nice cars, because they know women like nice cars. That's how it goes. Because men are hunters, and the car is the bait. And a woman comes and says, ooh, nice Porsche. Gotcha, bitch. That's how it is. That's true. Come on now, you go to a woman's house, her house be comfortable as shit. Women love comfortable surroundings, so men get comfortable surroundings. But let me tell you something. If a man could fuck a woman in a cardboard box, he wouldn't buy a house. But that's still not where chivalry got killed. Chivalry got killed by the feminist movement on the magazines that got women going crazy, because women got too much advice about men from other women. And they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's true. I see this shit in the magazines. I don't read them, but I be seeing the cover. I be in the grocery store, fellas, you look at one of the magazines like, what is this? And they say on the cover, 100 Ways to Please Your Man by some lady. Get out of here, man. Come on. Ain't no 100 ways. That list is 4 things long. Just suck his dick, play with his balls, and then fix him a sandwich and don't talk so much, and everything's gonna happen.
You know what I said? That's all I said. First of all, I'll tell you right now what I said. And I will tell you that this was not a joke. It's a true story. And I just happened to tell it. All right, what happened was I went to a gallery party, all right? I don't know who in here has ever been rich before, but these are very nice parties. You know, wine and cheese and ball of conversation. And there was a few eccentric types, one of which was a very wealthy man that happened to be wearing a dress. I don't know what you call him, man. This is a tranny or a drag queen, perhaps. Whatever it was, this is definitely a man. And this man was definitely on drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs he's on, but I knew he had too much. He didn't look good. It's like this. He's like, he looked sick. And all his friends were standing around him, concerned, trying to revive him. I don't know whether it looked like some kind of gay CPR. There was fanning and shit. I saw all this from a distance. Now, I should have minded my own business, but I got curious. I was like, oh. And I went over there. All I said, excuse me, gentlemen, is he okay? And then they looked at me like I was evil. Oh. She is fine. I said, word? Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't know this is what we were doing. Here's my thing. I would support anybody's right to be whoever they feel like they are inside. I'm your ally in that. However, my question is, to what degree do I have to participate in your self-image? Is it fair that I have to change my whole pronoun game up for this motherfucker? That doesn't make sense. Seriously. If I put on an Argyle sweater and I'm like, hey everybody, I feel like a white guy in this sweater and I want some goddamn respect and a bank loan. That's not gonna work. Give a fuck how I feel. Why should I give a fuck how you feel? Nigger is a pronoun. But there was no time for philosophical debate. This was an emergency situation. I said, fine. Sorry, guys. I was just worried because she looks terrible. She just fell off the bench. Appears that her dick is popping out of her dress. You mind if I call an ambulance, champ? I'd rather not be at a party where a tranny ODs. There's too many questions to answer. Okay, I've been through this before. I had a friend from high school. Now, in high school, this guy was a thug, right? He was a fucking dope boy. He did it all. He's a wild dude. People used to be very scared of him. And then after high school, word on the street was he'd come out the closet. I personally didn't believe it. I bring him up because last year, he calls me out of the blue like, yo, what's up, man? I got your number from so-and-so, and I heard you're going to be in New York doing a show. Could I get some tickets? I was like, fuck yeah, get some tickets, man. How you been? He said, well, we'll catch up at the show, man, but yo, I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. I said, all right, man, take care. And I was about to hang up, and I couldn't resist. I was just like, hey, nigga, I heard you was gay. What's going on with that? And I wish I didn't ask, because he sounded like he was dying to talk about that shit. And he had a long story about it. And it's not that I didn't care, but I was, I don't like talking on the phone. I was watching TV at the same time. So I just wasn't really paying attention like I should. But I was trying to sound supportive, but I didn't really know what to say. So I was just like mumbling shit throughout this conversation. I was just like, nigga, you gay, man. You just gay. Like, This went on for a while, and then finally I had to say something like definitive to get him off the phone. And I was like, hey, man, you know what? Don't let people get you down, all right? And the next time someone tries to make you feel bad about yourself, just remember, everybody fucks funny to somebody. He didn't like that shit. He's like, what the fuck does that mean? I said, huh? He said, you saying I fuck funny, motherfucker? I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody's different. He said, you ain't say different, nigga. You say it funny. What's so fucking funny about the way I fuck? And I said, hey, man, I fuck feet. He said, what? Oh, this is not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I get women to squeeze their feet together like this, and I fuck them right in that little space in their feet. But you can't build a community behind that shit. There's no flag for us. That shit made him laugh. And the next day, after the show, I saw him backstage. He was like, yo, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on? And he had his buddy with him. He goes, Dave, I want you to meet Manuel. Manuel's my fiance. We're in New York getting married because it's legal here. I said, well, congratulations, fellas. And Manuel was like, gracias. And he went to go get some drinks. And then my buddy looked at me, he was like, so Dave, what do you think? And I started mumbling again. You gay, nigga, you're just gay. He said, yeah, I'm a little nervous about getting married, man. It's a big step. I said, yeah, it is. It's a big step. He said, well, you've been married for a while. You got any advice for us? No, I'm married to a woman. Sorry about that. And they corrected me. He said, no, you married the person that you love. So it's essentially the same. I said, man, the problem with that statement is that it makes the assumption that I love her. But you guys lighten the fuck up. Of course I love my wife. She laughs at this shit. As a matter of fact, she eats and spends this shit. You know what I told him? I told him, I said, you know what you should do, man? First of all, you shouldn't do it. I'm talking about being legally married. It's not that you're gay as much as just legal marriage is a fucking diabolical leverage game in the United States. I'm just being honest. Devoid of religious significance or the idea of love, marriage is nothing but an awful contract that you shouldn't sign. I'm just being real. Because you start out loving each other, and then like 2 years later, you're just building a case against one another. for a hypothetical court date that may or may not ever happen. You throw being gay on top of that, that shit is explosive. Like it's that Ray Rice shit. Okay, right after Ray Rice went through all that shit, I was at a party and I met this kid, Michael Sands. You know Michael Sands? Very nice guy. He's the first openly gay NFL player. And Mike's a very nice guy, very brave guy. But when I met him, I couldn't help but thinking, now what's gonna happen when Michael Sands beats his wife up in the elevator? Is that domestic violence or is that just two niggas working shit out in the elevator? You know what I mean? Anyway, I give all married men the same advice, gay or straight. Get a dog. His dog will love you all the time, but she's not going to. It's real talk. I didn't even know about dogs, and my kids got the dog. They brought him home from the shelter, and I didn't even want him. They're like, "Can we keep him?" I said, "Nope." I said, "Where'd you even get this dog?" They're like, "We got him from the shelter." I was like, "Ugh." Probably something wrong with him. Can't keep him. And then my kids started crying and screaming like the dog had gambling debts. "Please, Dad, if you don't let us keep him, they're gonna kill him." I was like, "Oh. All right, you can keep him." And this dog was a menace. I hated his guts. Then one night I'd smoked a bunch of weed and I was eating a sandwich and Baba came over. Baba's the dog. He came over and was staring at me. This will make you very uncomfortable if you're just looking at you usually. I had to give him a piece of my sandwich so he'd go away. And that's how we became friends. Now, if you see me walking down the street with Baba, I ain't got no leash or nothing. He walks right next to me. If I stop, he'll stop. And if I go, he'll go. And all my friends are like, "Yo, Dave, that shit is dope. How you train Baba to do that shit?" I've never trained Baba. Just a messy eater. If I drop food and Baba's not around, all I gotta do is call him. "Baba!" He's a black dude's dog, so he doesn't come right away. He peeks first to see what's going on. I gotta tap my foot so he can see the food. "Over here, little buddy." And he's like, "Thanks, Dave." He'll come get it and run off. Well, I have some very bad news for the people in the front rows. I heard that some of you paid as much as $800 for your tickets. Sadly, I did this same show a couple weeks ago in Atlanta for $60 a head. Can you imagine? Nigga, you could have flown to Atlanta, got a hotel, had some dinner, and came back and you still have a little money left over, niggas. Paid way too much just to see me in this gay-ass neighborhood. All right, let me roll up my sleeves and tell these pussy jokes. Will told me to say there hasn't been this many pussy references in this room since Cats was here. Boy, I gotta tell you, man, I've been doing this set all week, and boy, I've been telling these jokes, and sometimes niggas look like they're in actual pain over the jokes. None of it's that bad to me, but I understand why it could hurt some people's feelings. So tonight, I'm going to give you an opportunity that I rarely give anybody. I'm going to let you say whatever it is you need to say to my face, or ask me whatever it is you want to know. But there are no dumb questions allowed. If you ask a stupid question, you'll be asked to leave. Nah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Everyone relax. Come on. Oh, yes, sir, in the front.
2 questions. How often do you write? And can I have a cigarette?
All right. First, you may have a cigarette. But remember, this is not jail, motherfucker. This lady right here.
I have a question. Do you remember this scene?
Oh, I do remember that. Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. That's a terrible question. This gentleman in the front with the salmon-colored shirt on.
I was wondering if you had any advice for young comedians that you generally give, and
Are you thinking of doing comedy?
I've never done it before, but watching you has made me want to try it.
I don't know if that's an insult or not.
It's a compliment. It's.
I mean, niggas don't say I've never done brain surgery, but it looked a lot easier than I thought. I'm teasing. All right, here'll be my advice. Okay, I don't know how comedians start nowadays, right? But what I would suggest is just start. And once you start, you can't really stop, no matter what happens, no matter how bad it gets, no matter what people say. You know what I mean? Because comedy is weird like that. You know why I hate watching other comedians do comedy? Not because I hate other comedians, but because I love comedy so much. It's like watching somebody else fuck your girl. And I say, fuck her better than that. Yes, you on the aisle up there, the lady with the long, yes, you standing up, I see you. My favorite book of all time, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. That guy with the baseball hat.
Marry, fuck, kill, Michelle, Rihanna, Oprah.
Wait, who's Michelle? Oh, Obama. Well, sir, you're putting me in quite the pickle. I can't say I'll fuck Michelle Obama. That's insane. Well, I guess I mean, because I wouldn't kill any of those women, but I'd fuck all three of them. The gentleman in the blue Oxford standing up.
Tell us the story with Charlie Murphy.
Tell a story about Charlie Murphy?
Or your favorite.
Boy, there's so many good Charlie Murphys. You know, the thing with Charlie Murphy is he used to just make us laugh all the time. And I used to ask him about all the old Hollywood shit I was curious about. Like when they used to accuse Michael Jackson, I remember asking once, I go, Charlie, do you think Michael Jackson actually did those things? And he said, let me ask you a question, Dave. He said, say it is illegal to fuck women. How long are you staying out of jail? So God bless Charlie Murphy, wherever you are. Charlie, I love you.
Who do you think is going to win the 2020 election?
All right, I'm going to put a pin in this, but I'll tell you right now, fella, I don't know, but I think Trump has a better shot than a lot of people would like to think. I'm just saying, it all depends on how the left talks. The way we're talking is not going to win the fucking ball game. Donald Trump's over there on the right, grabbing handfuls of pussy. Joe Biden can't even smell hair over here. Fuck this side. All right, man, go ahead.
Thank you so much for this show. And
how old are you?
25.
25? Yeah. Boy, don't let R. Kelly see you. He's gonna pee on you by accident. Oh, my bad. I thought she was 15. Yuck. I'm totally joking. I'm sorry.
My question is there anything you've learned from another comedian that you feel like will stay with you for life?
I tell you what, miss, that's a good question. Yes, is the short answer. A longer version of it is this. I was raised by comedians. I started doing stand-up when I was 14. The other day, I went to a comedian's funeral, and I realized as we was putting this motherfucker in the ground that these people are at least as influential to me as my family. I rock with these niggas till the wheel falls off. We fight and we fuss and we are jealous of each other and we get mad at each other, but my life wouldn't have been what it was without each and every one of them, and I consider them my family. That's what it is. Still hadn't figured out exactly how to say what I wanted to say, but I was doing pretty good. And I was doing some Me Too jokes, and a woman stood up from the audience and she was crying. Clearly, it was a white woman. She says to me, you can't say that. It's 200 seat room. It's a very small room. I'm like, what the fuck are you, like, miss, are you okay? What you doing? She said, you can't say that. I said, yes, I can. It's my show. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. The crowd was like, ooh, like this. And then she gets up from the table and she starts making a big like show of just pushing through the aisles and all this stuff. And there's like a curtain right before the front door. And she gets to the curtain and she's crying. This is fucking crazy. She says, I'm sorry I was raped. It's a fucking comedy club. It's like loud farting getting out of an elevator. Nothing funny can happen in here. Now I'm trapped in a room with this woman's fucking stink. And I say, Miss, it is not your fault that you were raped, but it's not mine either. Ta-ta, bitch, like this. She storms out. Now the room is very uncomfortable, but I managed to get the crowd back, but I'm like, you know, a little traumatized. Same show, there's a trans woman sitting in the audience. This is a true story. This was like a few weeks ago. I did 6 shows that weekend. This trans woman came to 4 of them. Calls herself Daphne. Man, this chick Daphne was in there cracking the fuck up at everything I said about everybody. It was amazing. She was laughing, and it was fun to watch her laugh. You could tell she was letting go with something that was heavy, and she'd throw her head back, and she'd smile with all her teeth. She was having a great time. And the more fun she had, I felt bad, because I knew I had some trans jokes to unload. And I thought to myself, maybe I shouldn't say these jokes because I don't want to like fuck her evening up. She's having so much fun. But then I thought to myself, well, if I can't say it in front of her, should I say this shit at all? So I let her rip. And to my surprise, Daphne laughed harder at the trans jokes than anybody in the room. In fact, everybody in the room would look at her to make sure it was okay. And I got off stage, I was in the dressing room, I was like, man, this is a fucking weird show. I'm sitting in the dressing room by myself just trying to figure out, like, what the fuck just happened out there? Like, why is it that this one woman can't take any of these jokes and Daphne can take all of these jokes? So weird. And then I realized, Daphne used to be a man. So now I go out of the dressing room and like you can see like all the staff was there like cleaning the club up, the audience had gone, and sitting at the bar by herself was Daphne. And she's like, hey, Dave, come join me for a drink. And I don't want her to think that I'm transphobic or nothing, so I'm like, fuck, I guess I could have at least a drink. And we get some tequila and we're sitting there. And she was fucking cool. Turns out that Daphne, she wants to be a comedian. She was asking me for advice, and I told her advice and all that shit. And then she says to me, she says, boy, you sure do get a bad rap for your trans jokes. I said, Daphne, thank you, but you don't have to say that. I hope I didn't offend you. She goes, no. She said, in fact, I read about you in the New York Times. I said, you did? She said, yeah. She said, I thought it was interesting that they blamed you for R. Kelly. They said you normalized him for telling jokes about him. I go, yeah, they said that. She goes, I wonder why they never said that you normalized transgenders by telling jokes about us. And I'd never thought about that. It never occurred to me. And we started making out. And then like, I reached up just to see what it felt like. I was like, what? And it felt like pussy, didn't it? I was just like, go ahead, ask me a question.
What the fuck you gonna do if Trump get reelected?
What am I gonna do if Trump get reelected? Probably get a significant tax break. Hey, you wanna know why I don't even talk about Trump in my show? Because that motherfucker is not the hokey pokey. He is not what it's all about. There's millions of people that put him in power, and the ideas that he puts forth are not his own. He's singing poor white people's greatest hits. So why the fuck Well, I worry about him and now the other millions. Really, you know who I'm gonna vote for next time if things keep going the way it's going is that gay dude. No, Mike Pence. It's a safe place where I could tell some jokes. And I find out that this comedian I know, Chris Tucker, who's in all those Rush Hour movies, I find out that Chris is in San Francisco too at some charity event. So I call him, I'm like, yo, I just saw you at some charity event. I said, I'm doing a show at the Punchline. Why don't you come by the club after your event? And he's like, cool, Dave. I thought you was dead, nigga. I'll come by. He says, is it okay if I bring some friends? Because, you know, I'm with a lot of people. I go, man, you Chris Tucker. You can bring whoever the fuck you want. And then I show up to the club late that night. And I walk into the dressing room, and sitting in the dressing room is Gavin Newsom, who at the time was the mayor of San Francisco, but now he's the governor of California. And sitting next to him was Kamala Harris, who at the time was the DA of San Francisco. Now she's the senator from California that's front running on the Democratic ticket. And sitting next to her was Al Gore. Fucking weird. And sitting next to Al Gore was the guys from Google, Sergey, and I don't know how to say these. All right. And it was Chris Tucker and Ben Jealous, who at the time was the president of the NAACP, who was all just at this big charity dinner, and Paul Mooney was drinking scotch. And we all was just in there. And, you know, at first I was a little uncomfortable when we started talking, and we all got along really well. Well, at some point, Kamala Harris she says to me, she goes, you know, a friend of mine is announcing his candidacy for president tomorrow. I went to college with him. I'm like, what? I go, Barack Obama? She goes, you've heard of him? I'm like, yo, I just read about this dude. And she goes, yo, yeah, blah, 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 we talking. She goes, you know what? She says, let's call him on the phone. I said, what the fuck? And she picks the phone up and she dials and she's listening like this. And she goes, this is voicemail. And she gives me the phone, she goes, leave him a message. You know, I didn't know what to say. I just said what you say to any black dude that's running for president. You know, stay low, running a zigzag pattern, this kind of shit. And then the last thing I say is, you know what? I said, sir, I really do believe you can do this. Like, man, I'm wishing you luck. Now, next day I wake up and go for coffee at a place called the Embarcadero. It's like an eatery by the sea in San Francisco. And I'm walking to the coffee shop and there's a police line and I can't cross the tape. But then I figure, fuck it, I'm Dave Chappelle, so I go into the thing like this. And the police yoke me. These motherfuckers like tackle me immediately. And I see over the police's shoulder Gavin Newsom. I couldn't remember his name, but I remember the night before I had kept teasing him and saying he looked like Christian Bale, the guy from the Batman movies. So I see him and I can't remember the name, so I'm just like, Batman, help! And he stops, he's like, Dave? And then the police see that the mayor knows me, so they're all like, oh, sorry about that. And he's like, hey, back up, everybody. And he just picks me up. He's like, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, I'm fine, don't worry about it. And he's like, listen, I'm here with Prince. Would you like to meet him? I'm like, I know Prince. That's my nigga. And we go around the corner, and it was Prince Charles, the Prince of England. I didn't know the protocol of meeting royalty. You're not supposed to touch him. I dapped him up like a nigga. My nigga. Just hugging him and shit like this, dapping him up, like this. And that nigga was cool too. I was like, it's really fucking weird. And then I was just out there in the upside down, not having no TV show, trying to figure life out. And the election was going on in the background. And this guy, Barack Obama, was picking up steam. This motherfucker was killing it. And I had a chance to go to the last debate on the Democratic ticket And I went. It's me and Chris Tucker sitting in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's the last three candidates. It was Barack Obama, John Edwards, and Hillary Clinton. Now, Obama's a lot taller than Edwards and Clinton, and he had the center podium. And at one point, they're all on stage, and they start fussing, and Obama goes, look, none of us are perfect, like this. And his hands was like this, and there was light shining behind his head, and the other two candidates was looking up at the nigga, and I was sitting in the audience like, this nigga looks like Jesus. And I realized in that moment that I was looking at the next president of the United States. I was certain of it. I couldn't explain it, but I knew what I was seeing. And I got really excited. And I'm not that kind of guy. I said, I gotta meet this motherfucker. So I stayed. They were all on stage doing interviews, and I just waited. I was waiting and waiting, and then John Edwards was done with his interviews first, because everybody knew he wasn't gonna win. And I see John Edwards, and I said, hey, Senator Edwards, I just want to say hi. And that motherfucker looked at me like, I'm like, fuck you, nigga, you gonna lose anyway. And then he left, and then Hillary Clinton just walked by me in one of them Steve Harvey suits. But Obama was taking forever. Everybody wanted to talk to him. When I knew the media saw exactly what I saw, there was no question about it. That was the guy. I waited and I waited, and finally, must have been over an hour and a half, he finishes his last interview. He's like, man, thank you very much. Good talking to you. And he turns around, and we make eye contact. He sees me, and when he sees me, he looks over, he goes, Dave Chappelle. And Obama did me the same way I did Prince Charles. He dapped me out like, and he like bro hugged me, and he pulled me in, and I'll never forget this. He said in my ear, I got your message. Thank you very much, New York City. I had written a joke during the AIDS epidemic about having a Goodyear condom. Something, I don't even remember the joke. Something about an industrial strength condom by Goodyear. I just remember all the comedians really liked that joke. And there was an older comedian. And he came to me one night after the show, after he saw the joke, and he said, listen, I got an audition at another comedy club, and I was wondering, do you mind if I do that joke? I just want to borrow it. Now, I'm a kid. I don't know any better. I'm like, borrow it? Well, I guess, sure, if it'll help your career. I let him do the joke. And then weeks later, I was waiting to go on in a comedy club, and he went on before me, and he did the joke. And after the show, I pulled him aside, and I said, hey, man, I don't mind you borrowing my jokes, but you got to give them back. He said, oh, I forgot to ask you. He goes, let me buy that joke from you for $50. And I said, man, I'd do it, but I'm just starting out. I need all the material I can get. The idea being that the more material I can accumulate, the faster I'll be able to make money for my work. I said, I can't do it. I want my joke back. I'll never forget this. Remember, I was a 15-year-old child. This guy was a grown-ass man. He stood up over me so I could see how big he was. And he said to me, really, I can just take it. And he did. I got scared because I was a child. But I never forgot that. I never forgot that. I was 15 years old. I'm 47 now. I think about this guy all the time. When I look at my own kids and I see how young and innocent they are, I can't believe someone did that to me. And I don't think about it every day because that was the worst thing that happened to me. I think about it every day because that was the first time that someone ever did that to me. But in my career, it has happened many, many times since, where someone would intimidate me or scare me and take something that I believe was mine. I'll tell you another story. Now I'm 18 years old. I'm living in New York City, And I just finished my first road tour, which was a very difficult tour. I'll spare you the details. Now I'm back in New York, but my rent is paid, thank God. And I have $60 to my name. And a woman that I had met in Pittsburgh, a bad Dominican bitch, was coming to New York. She was going to spend the weekend with me. I couldn't wait for her to get there. She was coming that evening. But remember, I only had $60 for a whole weekend to entertain a bad bitch. Now I'm walking through Greenwich Village, and I see something I've never seen before. 3-card Monte. You know what that is? Yeah, the guy had the whole thing. The table was set up, and he had the 3 cards, and the crowd was hooting and hollering, and he was like, find the red card, find the red card, and people were playing. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but it was really exciting, and I'm standing there watching it, and I noticed while I'm watching them play this game that the red card, the one you're trying to find, had just a little bend on the corner. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, yo, this guy doesn't seem to know that red card is bent. I'm going to beat this motherfucker. And I walked up to the table, and I said, let me play a hand. And I put my last $60 on that table, and he starts to shuffle and find the red card, find the red card. And I kept watching that bent card go around the table, make sure I kept my eyes on that bent card. And when he stopped shuffling, and he said, find the red card, I pointed to it with confidence. Here it is right here. And he flipped it over, and it was black. And he took my money. I couldn't fucking believe that. How did this nigga do that? Was that magic or sorcery? I was confused. So you know what I did? I sat there, and I watched him for a real long time play the game. And I realized that all those people who was doing all that hooting and hollering and betting, my God, they were his friends. They were in on the whole thing. I felt so wronged. I felt so stupid. And then the next sucker came up to the table and was about to put his money down. And I said, fuck that, man. Don't put your money there. All these niggas is in on it. It's a trick. And when I said that, the guy that was dealing, and this motherfucker was huge, snatched me up by my collar. Feel how strong he was when he grabbed me. I was a skinny little guy. And he was gonna maul me. The only reason he didn't, I'm sure, is because he saw the fear in my face. And that fear, he looked at me. I saw his eyes go from hard to soft. He softened. Then he looked at me like the way a father would look at a child. And he said to me, young man, don't ever come between a man and his meal. I never forgot that either. Most niggas would have to run the streets for years to learn a lesson that profound. It took me 2 seconds. Never get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him. Do you know why Prince, the famous rock star that was a friend of mine, do you know why he called himself the artist when he came back? He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the fuck could possibly know what that means? Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed a contract. But I signed the contract the way that a 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate. I needed a way out, and it wasn't good money, and it wasn't good circumstances, but what else am I going to do, I said. And all these white people sitting at that table told me, trust us, Dave, it's a good contract. And I looked around the table, and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of three-card Monte? What if they were all friends and I didn't know it? And the bag of money was Iceberg's money in the first place. What was I talking about? What was I trying to tell you? Last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I call Lauren Michaels and I tell him, okay, I'll do it. I'll do Saturday Night Live on election night. And the day I made that phone call, the day I committed to it, it gets announced that Netflix is streaming Chappelle's show. Not just Netflix, HBO Max is streaming it too. Let me tell you another story about HBO. No, hear me out. Did you know, before Chappelle's show was at Comedy Central, I pitched that show to HBO. I told them what I wanted to do. Now, these are executives. All they have to do is say, yeah, we'll take it, or no, thank you, we won't. But they didn't say either of those things. They went too far. They said, literally, what do we need you for? That's what they told me, as they kicked me out of the office. What do we need you for? And here we are, all these years later, and they're streaming the very show that I was pitching to them. So I'm asking them. Was age in this room. 1 hour special. It's called Girlfriend was sitting in that room. She's now my wife. The baby, Marion, my first child. Weed with that nigga now. And what I remember most out that night was the pressure. I had to run out there on the avenue. They would take me because I couldn't even feel it. Boy, what a diff 4 short years makes. And right before that, father had died. He never lived. And when he was inconsolable, laugh again. Out of that space was the late, great Norm Macdonald. That's right. And what Norm did is he knew that I was I'm not going to go all into it, but that you can't practice or given talent. I was fascinated. Norm knew that. And he called me up and he says, I'm doing a movie with Jim Carrey. Do you want to meet him? Yes, I do. Because remember, since my father died, in the movie, On the Moon, I didn't know any of this. Carrey was playing another comedian, Hoffman. Carrey was so immersed, and the moment he woke up, he would live his life. Kaufman. I didn't know this nigga was still Andy Kaufman. Everybody on the crew didn't know any of that. I just went there, don't know we were supposed to meet. I screamed, said, no! God. And I didn't understand. He was acting weird. I didn't know he was acting. How you doing? And I was like, in hindsight, that I got to see when I'm immersed in one of his movies. Very lucky to have seen. But as it was happening, I was Jim Carrey. This nigga was Andy Kaufman. Noon. Clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and Jim Carrey. That to say, that. To this show tonight. Make fun of those people again. You've come to the wrong show. I'm not fucking with it. Wasn't. I ain't saying shit about you 3 or 4 times tonight, but that. I'm tired of talking about them. And you want to know why I'm tired of talking? These people acted like I'm funny. Well, that's ridiculous. I don't need you. I got a whole new. That's all I said. And I will tell you a story. All right, what happened was I don't know who in here. These are very nice parties. Cheese and ball of conversation. And then one of which was a victim to be wearing a dress. I don't know what a drag queen perhaps. It's definitely a man. The man was definitely what kind of drugs he's on. He didn't look good. He looked sick and all concerned, trying to revive some kind of gay CPR. I saw all this from a different business, but I got curious. All I said, excuse me, is he okay? She is. Here's my thing. Support anybody's right. They feel like they are inside. However, my question is, to what degree, in your self-image, is it fair that I have to aim up for this motherfucker? That didn't make sense. Sweater, and I'm like, hey everybody, I feel goddamn respect in a bank loan. How you feel? Niggers are prone. Well, this was an emergency situation. Fine. Sorry, guys. The bench. Her dick is popping out of her dress. Champ, I'd rather not be at a party where it's dancing. I've been through this before. I had a friend now in high school, right? He was a fucking dope out dude. People used to be very scared in high school. Word on the closet. I personally didn't. I bring him up because last me out of the blue, like, yo, what's up, man? I heard you're gonna be in New York doing it. Okay, get some tickets, man. How you show, man? But yo, I said, all right, man, take care. And I was just like, on with that. And I would, because he sounded like he was dying, and he had a long story. I didn't care, but I was on the phone, I was watching TV. So I just wasn't really paying. Trying to sound supportive, mumbling shit throughout this conversation. You gay, man. You just gay. For a while, and then finally I had to get him off the phone. And I don't let people get you down. Next time someone tries to make you feel bad about it, everybody fucks funny to something. Shit. He said, you saying, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody, nigga, you said fun, fuck. And I said, hey man. He said, what? Oh, this is not a joke. Women to squeeze their feet together. I'm right in that little space in their feet. Build a community behind that shit. There's no. After the show, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, shit, what's good? He goes, Dave, I want you to meet Manuel. I say, we're in New York getting married. Oh, well, congratulations, fellas. And he went to go get some drinks to me. He was like, so, Dave, what do you think? And I started mumbling again. You know, just gay. He said, great, man, it's a big step. You got any about that? He corrected me. He said, no, you love. So That's the problem with that statement is that, but you guys lighten the fuck up. In fact, she eats and spends this shit. No, you know what you should do, man? You shouldn't do it. Legally married. It's not that just legal marriages is fucking in the United States. Devoid of religious significance, marriage is nothing but a time. And just being loving each other, and then like 2 years later, another date that may or may not ever happen. You throw shit is explosive. That shit. Okay, right after Ray Rice, I was at a party and I met this kid. Very nice guy, gay NFL player. Very brave guy, thinking, now what's gonna happen? Beats his wife up in the elevator. Domestic violence, or was that just out in the elevator, you know what I mean? Anyway, all married men the same advice. A dog. A dog will love you all the time, but I didn't even know a dog. They brought him, they're like, can we keep him? I said, nope. Get this dog. They're like, we got him from the shop. Probably started crying and screaming, please, Dad, if you kill him. I was like, oh. And this dog was a menace. I hated it. Then one night I was eating a sandwich. Well, Baba's a dog. He came over very uncomfortable. If he's just looking at you. I had to go away. And that's how we now, Baba, I ain't got no leave. If I stop, he'll stop. All my friends are like, yo, Dave, that shit, Baba to do that shit. I've never trained Baba. That's the eater. Drop food and Baba's not around. Baba! These dogs, so he doesn't come right away. He's going on. I gotta tap my foot so he can see the food. Dave, don't come get it and run off. Very much for being here tonight. I just wanted to read a statement that I prepared. Announce anti-Semitism and all this friends in the Jewish, and that I gotta tell you guys, when this 35 and early in my career, 2 words and say together in sequence are thus. Do good after they said that. Some scrapes before, normally when I pull up immediately. Like, you know what? Let me see what's going on. Just want to see where this is. It started with a tweet string. I'm feeling a little sleepy. Need some rest, but on 3, and then he just went to bed. I was up all heat going to the Jew. I grew up around Jewish. I have a lot of Jewish friends. Your culture. I know a little bit about it. Just go out at school tomorrow. They'll be like, we can't. I'll be like, where? Some of your people dress like Run. Kanye woke up from that nap. A year ago, I'd seen Drink Champs, and it was amazing. And then were there the rappers that I list stuff on. They said only million. What? Yeah, billionaire body. It was a good parent. Funny. Drink Champs again. This time about something. He said, Semitic things. He just can't trap me. Adidas was founded by, and they were offended. I guess the student. This is of perception. If they're Italian, it's a coincidence, and he. Kanye got in so much trouble. Kyrie Irving to a movie that he had shown on the post or nothing like that. The movie had some, I don't know, something. It was some weird title like that. And the NBA, he was slow to apologize. Man's to get back in there in this of the line. I know they've been through terrible things all over the world. Blame that on black Americans. Just can't. Thanks to the one person that said it. You should just post a link to Schindler's List. Irvin's black ass was nowhere near. In fact, he's not even. News pundits screaming about health is no excuse. Yes, he would kill somebody. Listen, Kanye is crazy. At all, possibly not well. No one y'all. I've been in Hollywood. This was just.
never give up. Don't put your trust in me. I want you.
It's. But that didn't mean anything. Burgers in Missouri. That mean we. I had an issue. You know what I mean? Your mind might start connect. Maybe adopt the news run. Showbiz. Easy thing to think. Easy thing to say out loud. Now the music climate, and I got to tell you, in terms of like all of humanity, it's an ominous sign. The most ominous, Herschel Walker, who I don't want to speak badly of because he's, but I have to. He's observably stupid. Even when he's not talking, he makes a move on tic-tac-toe. Now they're declaring the end of the Trump hour in New York. You might believe them. Just being honest with you, I live in on poor whites. A lot of you don't. Trump was so popular, but I heard it every day. And the reason he's Ohio, I've never seen somebody. He's what I call an honest. Well, I'm not honest liar. That first debate, I'd never seen anything like male at the top of his lungs. Rigged, he said. It was a white woman, Hillary Clinton, and they're looking at him like, no, it's not. It's what. And the moderator said, well. If in fact the system is rigged, what would be what he said, bro? I know because I use it. God damn! And then he poured a line of cocaine up and say something that true. And then Hillary said, this man doesn't pay his, that makes me smart. I came back, started because I'm on Netflix special tonight. And after this, it's time to make America. I've done too well. I can show business and do too well. You got to get while the getting's good, while you're still. If you don't walk away from it, hearted. And I'm just saying, if he got a sex, well, it's just a matter of. But you know why I be doing comedy and sound like a braggart saying this, and I want to stop? I'm damn good at it. Exaggerating, I'm every backstage like, I'm sure this, and it always does. I'm so at writing jokes, and this is not, I actually write, I will write with no particular setup in paper, and I'll throw that scrap bowl, I have a fish bowl, and my random punchlines. The bowl, and I'll dig it and see if I can make that shit work. And I picked one, it's not an easy, are you ready? Here it goes. So I kicked her in the pussy. I haven't finished. I just know whatever. At the end of the joke, for some reason, I'm gonna kick somebody in the pussy. Be hilarious. And you know what's weird? I remember a time when I wasn't. When I was growing up, it's probably about 8 times, we were living in Silver. Yeah. Common misconception. A lot of people think I'm from the. Bothered to correct anybody because I wanted to. In fact, I kept it up as a like sometimes I'll hang out with rap motherfuckers and start talking about it was wild in the PJ word, nigga word. But I have no idea. Well enough around white people. Talk about the projects, nigga. I used to because it's everybody in the project. And that's fair. Nigga, it felt you. Sleep over at a white friend's house. Back home on Sunday and just look. Y'all need to step. Everything in Timmy's house. Remember the first time old winter and to be at a white in their living room without their car. White friends like him. Good dude too. He moved to Utah of all places. He was affiliated with that Aaron. One day I was at his house. We were just hanging out. Why don't you? I said, oh man, I can't. If I'm, will kill me. A lie. Several jobs. I hadn't seen her like 3 or 4. My life. It was my experience. White dinner wasn't delicious. I'd rather some shit like that. Then old Timmy threw me a curveball. Bet you can't stay, Dave, because I'm me. Rooftop. Let me make some phone calls real quick. I had seen that commercial so many times on some of that stovetop stuff. And finally, I met him stovetop in the house. I pretended to call my mother. Then I came back and I said, Timmy, leave this great news. Mom, fantastic. He said, why set the table and then we can say no interest, this table, or saying ears. Damn stuffing. My hands first. Wash my hands slow. Done. The table will be set and all that there will be left. The bathroom. I must have been in there for about 10 minutes. And suddenly, mothers came to the door. Hi, David. Yes, ma'am. That you're planning on staying. I said, I hope that's not a problem. It's no problem. In fact, we weren't expecting company. There's not enough stuffing. Kicked her in the pussy. And gentlemen, oh, nigga, I still didn't see it coming. I make the big bucks. I got the more important reason that I would stop. And there's been percolating, I'm talking on the big stage, whose ears are so fuckers are so sensitive, the bitch ass niggas. Everything started. It was when I was doing Chappelle show. I used to do the show and then concerts and shit like that. So I'm doing it. There's a couple in the front row. Beautiful. Wife was obvious in her face. The husband was mysterious, to say the couldn't quite pinpoint where the fella. Very nice hair. Bangladesh, Mexico. I can't. All about this is that his wife was having a good time, and she was goddamn comedy. And then I realized she's pregnant, and I said, "Oh my God, this probably started to put my cigarette out." Fake non-smoker. Thought to myself, "Bitch, that baby will be." And I tried to break the tension. Go, hey, where you guys from? And he was on to me. She goes, very kind. I'm from. My ethnicity. I am Chinese. He was like, sorry if I offended you by Apple and mid-birth to the episode. That's not a bad joke. He got very upset. But she didn't just leave. She had to one of your fucking Dave Chappelle. Ma'am, with all due respect, Chinese people don't buy DVD. All laughing, having a good time. And then just 3 days, sends a fucking letter to book me for shows and quote, racist, huh? And I'm quoting her. The nature of my interview. Word, bitch. If I myself, marriage. And my wife is Asian, that's bitch, I'll see her. But my wife's not Chinese, Filipino. That's right, and our kids are poor. In fact, you know what? A lot of people don't know that. Excited, but okay. Say that, but it's true. You can't. The fucking Cat Williams concert. Just taking it too far. I don't know. Everybody got this. Who hates me the most? Yo, realize how bad it was. These really mad about that last net. It's tough, man. I don't know what. Because I like them. Always have. Never had a problem. Just. As a matter of fact, and I mean, admit, it's kind of fucking hilarious. I've never had a hilarious predicament. Humor about it. Feeling like there's something other. That's kind of funny, you know? Like, funny if it's not happening to you. It's like that white time. Your dozer. And she dressed up like, shot her way up of blackness. And I don't understand. I could just look in her eyes, call her a nigger to her face. What's that bitch talking about? It's trans talk, ladies. Stop biting. There's a big difference between her and a trans. I believe transgenders, but I know dicks off. Need the dick away. Don't need it. But I believe you when I Rachel willing to go. What is Rachel willing to believe that she believes us? Bitch, are you willing to put a lien, invest in a mixtape that Her name can't believe in that name. If you want my support to the blackest shit I've ever heard, bitch, you on green. than that. Paper. Draymond Green in the air. That shit will. People get. I was doing it in Portland, Oregon, a hotel on these. I came back on my desk. It was addressed to Miss. Obviously, it must be an intimate friend of mine. This is a guess. But then I opened the letter. I don't know this person at all. You know, I'm not even half fans, but I'm grateful for it. And even though be nice if I did, but what am I, Santa Claus, nigga? I don't have time. Got shit I want to do. I'm trying to read all these dreams and wishes. I'd already opened it. And you know what, man? Letter. Truly. I mean, they were really, and then they described to me how excited they were. And then they said, got to my jokes about that they were, quote, stated. Doubt that whoever wrote the letter, now I'm going to be real for us, I never feel bad about it up here. And I hadn't locked your phones up. But it was the weirdest thing. Like, I feel bad. I didn't feel bad. I felt bad. Else feel bad. I said that upset that person. The jokes. But I feel like it was probably what I'm about to tell you right now. Isn't that bad of a joke? It's just, but I had written them. Jenna was contemplating issue of Sports Illustrated. No, they say these things, so I just for everybody else. Sometimes I just a man pussy in the middle of the sports. I just didn't think that. I wasn't saying anything like Caitlin mad at her for doing it. Not even mad at somebody. Mad at myself. 'Cause deep down, I'm not strong enough to not look at those pictures. And trying to show me. So Caitlin, go through with this thing. Bitch, you better go away. Hustler status. That means there's an itty bitty dick inside. Ah! Behind the curtains. When I read, in the moments after I read it, that many do not have the time, or a very basic question that I don't think. I said, man, Dave, if you're writing on, you have a problem with people. And the answer, absolutely, you guys think I am. And all the choices that people understand that life is hard. Just do not disqualify me in happiness and safety. Honest. My problem has never been people. My problem, I just feel like we discussed in front of the. It's fucking insulting all people feel inside. Since fuck how feel inside. And I cannot, awful suspicion, everybody is talking because white, that's right. Felt that way, or black, like, hey y'all, we feel like girls. No one asks you how you felt. Strawberries to pick. It reeks of white. You never asked yourself why it was change his gender, then it was change his fucking name? And if I were to be brutally honest, that the transgender community, niggas for 6 songs straight. And then the knuckles, I said, oh, and everybody was, world stop. I didn't you say? Then I heard that. I didn't say because I was happy. And I feel about it. You knew how I'd feel. Going home, I don't want any trouble. I said, home, it's we might as well finish the night. Ended up having breakfast together. Oh, grow up, that doesn't make. I just titty fucked her. Say all that. Just a little friction from a stranger. This type's is young. I wouldn't even know the wild night out. But I don't do it like that anymore. My life I've ever like started my age. You can, it's how I know I'm getting old. This is, if I was in my hotel. I'm not gonna lie. And this is when I knew I was old. In the middle, like nothing even happened. My dick anymore. It's distinguished. looking dick. It's got hair all around it. My dick looks like more dots. My dick pulled me out and started jerking me around. Vickers, when he was young, he and I both knew it. I see my age in my... Not long ago. I've been gone for weeks and weeks. Nobody was home. Not one person. Maybe I'd like to... They knew it. They just weren't home. The wake-up call. Little. And these motherfuckers would... Dad is home. Hey. And they'd hug him. The years went on, they'd get less. Hey, look, it's Mr. Empty house. That's old shit. I went into my oldest son's room. I was like, gone. And I never done, just did it. I just, motherfucker was becoming. And I found these notebooks written as his handwriting, poems. And then I looked up his middle drawer, rolling paper. And I looked down at them papers. That's. And that shit broke my heart. I mean, I smoke weed, but I mourned. And I cried a little. Took his papers upstairs to my rolled some. And then I got paranoid. So I put his papers back half. So you won't even know that that happened till. I think I found your papers. Motherfucker, let me tell you, this kid is only me. This motherfucker called in the middle of the night. It was, Dad, don't be. What's going on? And don't forget, you told me to do this. I'm at a party. The designated driver had too much to drink, needs you to come pick us up. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Waste. Good fuck it. It's better me roll the dice and go pick my nigga up. Just give me the address. And then I was shocked. I said, son, you a party, nigga. They grow up fast. Can I feel comfortable? You don't have to answer it out anyway. Weird to be the only. Be honest, does it feel strange? Give me ice in his veins. He didn't even buckle. Black men my age was 8 years ago. Right. Saw Obama on TV. I said, I remember the day I voted for him in Ohio. In my Ohio. When I pulled up to the poll line, there was so many, I didn't even know it was a poll. I thought other and old people were singing a verdict times 10. I've seen black people that happen. Later, I'm pulling up to the polls at the time I'm driving a brand new because the Obama years were very. And when I parked my out something that it would take a week to figure out that Donald Trump was going to be our next. Ohio, unlike see the results in the parking lot, all these goddamn pickup shit. And all alone. Ladies and gentlemen, these were the poor. And I must tell you, people ever in my life, it's the trouble out of them. And I'd never seen old smeared faces. My surprise, I won the faces, but they felt like. No, they did, and I didn't sound fucked up. I know the game with the rich white people for trash, and that is because I made so much. The rich white sale part with that shit. Like all of us Americans, nobody skips the line to listen to them. Poor white people. My Washington, and you dumb motherfucker, are poor. He's fighting for me. They all looked at me. They could tell who I could tell who they were voting for. We all had in common. Not a single one of us felt good about what we had to do. We were just doing our guys. I voted for Hillary Clinton. Her because I liked vastly better. Said. But to be honest with you, that shit was like watching Darth Vader do. As hell. She had already cut his legs from underneath him. Boy, the evils. I know you were Clinton her, but it didn't feel. She was gonna be off and make coins out of this bitch. Somehow she just missed. Of course she should have beat him. You know what, voting for her feet, it felt like enough to eat Halle Berry. Was doing so. The face, man. You want... Boy, I wish she didn't fart. Same day I flew to New York to work. New York, and I said to him exactly what I just said. Didn't know that there was a journalist. Journalist wrote an article, said Dave Chappelle avid. No idea the paper said that. My wife called me from Ohio in a goddamn panic. David, what the fuck is going on in New York? I said, I'm being good. But it's saying that you're a... I was like, whew. Mine would believe that, and people believe it. Comments to me. All these black, all kinds of Uncle Toms. I should tell you, buddy, this is from one black to another. Since Uncle Tom, how my Uncle Tom reads the Observer? Shit goes down. It was the president, and I'm. And I just kind of winged it. And at the end of the monologue, I don't even remember, you know, fuck it, like we gonna give him, something about we gonna, I don't know what I said, but whatever, I really wish I didn't say that shit. Now people just be looking at me like, yo, Dave, boy. Yo, nigga. Boy. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, any objective person that this motherfucker go with it. We've had president jobs, but this shit, it's hose pipe in your Uber driver. With this guy, he is lunching, nigga. I went in a press conference, had all the media gathered, literally face to stop. Like, yo, this motherfucker is bum. Then I'm not even making it. His lips started sweating. His lips, fuckers. What the fuck? I'm on a plane, I do it all the time. I be scared on there. Turbulence, and then I the flight attendant, and she makes me feel calm. Bitch's lips were terrifying. Like, yo, nigga, what do you know? And then, I grabbed the phone and he goes, no, how scared in my briefings. This shit. Sit my kids down. Hey, little man, second. Yo, on the rent, nigga, and I very. Gonna go to. I was just thinking out loud. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Man. Christ. All this motherfuckers hide people ideas. Think these things through before he's thinking. As soon as it occurs, and I'm gonna get them and bring them back here to what, nigga? So iPhones can China where it belongs. Because he thinking. I want to make them shits. What the fuck? Trying to give us China. I am going to coal. I'm not even. I have never even seen a fucking coal is for. If you're around in the dirt looking for shit, nigga, that's what I'm about. And these trouble prices are down to regular butter like everybody. Terrible. With rap battle theory, like, yo, what are you doing? Kim motherfucker, he's my scary shit.